Okay, let's start our series with the elemental numeracy, the particular sequence in which we are going to expose different concepts to our children. Right. This is the first in the series now, and we will go sequential for our teachers and parents training from day one. What should we do? So the very first question is, where do we start with? Start with what? Now, I have tried to ask this question from many parents, and the very obvious answer is 1, 2, 3, counting. We'll start with 1, 2, 3. Why? Yeah, because this is the first concept. Reason that their experience is that they were taught like this. They go to bazaar, take something commercial, and you're just saying 0, 1, 2, 3. That is absolutely incorrect. These are symbols. This will come very late in the step. So what's the first concept then? The very first concept is, which is just very natural to us the way we think. Pause a little bit and think. We see patterns in everything, right? And whenever something comes in front of us, in our mind, we try to associate with something which is already in our memory and put it in that folder. Oh, it's an animal, right? So there is some animal folder in my brain. Our memory system probably is built in that kind of a folders where we keep them. Very little is known about how it works, but we are a complex machine. Oh, I can classify it in, oh, this is a living animal. This is green. So all of those things I start associating with, right? So what is this process called? With some attributes, we start putting this thing in our mental folders, in our baskets. This belongs to this basket, right? Technically, we call it sets. On the basis of some similarity, on the basis of some difference. This is the built-in thing that we start with. Means patterns on the basis of similarity, and is it a friend of this? Does it look like that? Will it go with it? And on the basis of differences. And it comes very natural. If you see, will it make friends with this or with this? So children will say, yeah, it looks like of this family, right? Step back a little bit. When the parents said counting, again, knowing a name and knowing the meaning are absolutely two different things. What is meaning by counting? Counting is determining the number of things, the number of elements in some basket. When I say I'm counting these things, whether there is a basket or not, I am making a mental basket. Oh, these are 3. So saying these are 3 actually means I have made a set in my mind, and the number of elements in this set are 3. Makes sense? When we say some certain things are, these tanks are 4 or 3, what does it mean? Means the set which contains these tanks and trucks, the count of elements in this set, which is technically called cardinality, is 4, right? Having a sense of set. When we say the child, oh, how many of them are green? So he makes another mental set within that, and we are actually asking in this particular set, which is a subset, without naming it's a subset, they are green. You got the point. The numbers, our numerals, are essentially the cardinality of a set of which we are at the moment talking about. So that's the concept formation. You said it goes like this. Where will this go? The child will naturally put it into this. Yeah, because it belongs to this family. And you ask him, where will this go? Most likely he doesn't put it in this set. He will put it in this set or this set or this set. He might put it in this set, right? Or if the cycle, on the basis of some similarity. You get it? This concept, where does it connect? It connects almost everywhere. In all our taxonomies, classifications and everything, we are using it. We use it in our, this is a chemistry, it's the organic and inorganic. In our knowledge area, we use these things. This is the physics or chemistry. Actually, knowledge is one holistic. But we tend to classify into certain databases by their color, by their size, by their shapes, by where they're coming from. This so that we can organize, we can identify, and we try to make more meanings and sense out of it. That's the purpose. That's how we are built. Now I recall many times in many classes, the chapter of set was not taught to us, thinking it's a useless thing. Whereas in our database, in informatics, in statistics, you always classify, make grouping, to put into basket. Set is such an important and fundamental in our process. Now, that is the connect. Now we understand it perfectly. The first thing is making sets. But there is a, whenever we try to solve a problem, it's a human weakness that we tend to do this, that in addressing an objective or a risk, risks are always two objectives, right? The risk in risk management, the risks are always two objectives. We address one risk in all our good intentions, but unintentionally it generates more risks. Why? We are weak. In our judgment, we are weak. Problem is, there can be a very simple mechanism, as simple as this cycle. Okay, there's 3-4 hinges and that's all. And there is a brain which is taking decision. And you know this brain is 100 billion neurons in it, kind of equivalent to the stars in the Milky Way galaxy. The connections within them are, we have a rough ballpark idea, but to the tune of 1,000 trillion synaptic connections. Imagine how much a different process. So if a mechanism is really very complex, it tends to do lots of classifications within it and in taking decisions. And those are colored by where are we coming from, what was our experience 5 minutes ago, how I was, how my wife was dealing with me, and how my boss was dealing with me, and how was I. So lots of. Today, this moment is a very complex function of history, right? So we, in our way of thinking, tend to ignore sometimes in a set the similarities. When we make two sets, right, we kind of try to classify them into a particular set. Oh, he is an African. Oh, no, he is a Chinese. And we can then attribute the entire baggage, because since he is a Chinese, he will behave like this. Since he is an African, since his skin has more melanin, so skin has more melanin because it was so designed by nature and the creators to protect him from the UV light. Doesn't mean that it has to be attributed with some other kind of virtues or anything else. No. So this problem, weakness, generates a bias in our research because our classification is essentially gets wrong, and it tends to create that depolarization, right? So important this set is that if we are doing it, we shouldn't lose direction, right? I always tend to enjoy African proverbs. They are very interesting because I feel in Africa there is a less artificiality. They say if you think everyone is good, then probably you haven't met everyone. There is another very good saying which says, not all trees in a forest are good for the firework. Do not buy goat just on the basis of its voice, right? Means the same, our weakness. Oh, he is that family and he is this family. You see, I'm a Muslim, let's say, talk in our, for example, the grouping that we have created artificially. Creator says, we made nations and tribes just for your identification. Just for your identification. وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شَعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا, so that you identify each other. You can put them into your database and can classify, oh, they belong to this tribe and they come from there. That's all. It has nothing. And very interestingly, before it, Quran says very interestingly, Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min zikrin wa unsa. Don't forget your similarities. You are coming from the same humans. You are same human family. In fact, the codon is the very basic structure that we have found is in all life forms. And the very next thing is very interesting. So goes in the Bible, so goes in all scriptures and wherever you pick the wisdom from. On the basis of it, don't start evaluating. This is just an identifier. It says, Inna akramakum indallah atqakum. You, the best among you is only on the basis of the conduct. Don't attribute that melanin or that he is a Pakistani or is a Muslim with that, okay, he will explode, right? Or he will not. This is very interesting. Not to forget differences within a set. As we say, panchon ungliyan barabar nahi hoti. What does it mean? Means that within each set there are differences, and within different set you will find similarities. Oh, these are similar, falls in this set and this set, right? Well, look at this, is very common sense. When you're talking to, okay, this is Pakistan and this is India, or oh, he is an infidel, he is a Christian, or and labeled. Oh, this choice is ta'alu ila kalimatin sawa'an bainana wa bainakum. Look at the commonalities between you and them. So it's such a fundamental thing, and its sense starts from our numeracy lesson 1. Thank you very much.